Zeno of Elea was an ancient Greek philosopher known for his paradoxes and arguments on the impossibility of motion. One of his most famous quotes is, "The arrow never reaches the target." Welcome to the Surreal Stoic channel. Today, we're going to explore the world of Stoicism and learn how its timeless lessons can guide us. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive more inspirational content. Let's get started. In the island of Cyprus, 300 years before Christ, there lived a prosperous merchant known as Zeno of Citium. During one of his voyages, his ship sank, taking with it all of his precious cargo. This event, completely beyond the control of Zeno or anyone else, suddenly turned a rich man into a poor man. Now, let's imagine that you were Zeno. How would you react if the entire fruit of your life were nullified by the sheer force of nature? Would you become angry, dejected, or feel that life had treated you unfairly? For most of us, these would be natural reactions. But Zeno, the father of Stoicism, thought differently. A small change can last for an eternity, and a small shift in the mind can lead to greater and more impactful changes in the future. The essence of Stoicism lies in acceptance and indifference. After having read the works of Socrates and other great philosophers, Zeno created and taught Stoicism. According to him, even though we have little control over what happens to us, we do have control over how it affects us. Therefore, we should use this control to our advantage, rather than lamenting uncontrollable losses. The focus was on maintaining composure in the face of adversity, remaining calm and neutral even when confronted with challenging situations. Currently, people often mistakenly view Stoics as individuals devoid of intense emotions like fits of anger or anxiety. However, the essence of Stoicism goes far beyond that. Instead of describing people as devoid of emotions, Stoicism was a philosophy of life that endured for centuries. It teaches us to process negative emotions stemming from adverse experiences and transform them into thoughts that provide us with a unique perspective on the world. Perspective is crucial, as each of us has distinct experiences, leading to diverse perspectives on life. Since the time when the Stoics gathered to discuss and teach philosophy in public places, Stoic philosophy was widely disseminated. They believed that Stoic principles were beneficial for anyone, regardless of their social status, and therefore, it made no sense to hide this knowledge behind the four walls of an academy or palace courtyards. Therefore, slaves and emperors alike could learn and adopt Stoic teachings. Some of the most notable Stoics in history include Epictetus, whose name suggests he was purchased as a slave, Seneca, a renowned statesman, and Marcus Aurelius, a powerful Roman emperor. These ancient Stoics believed in the elimination of all forms of segregation and were leaders in the fight against inequality. They even coined the word cosmopolitan, which literally means citizen of the world. Thus, even in a time when gender equality was not common, women could also learn about Stoicism and become Stoics if they so desired. Why then do so many people adopt Stoicism as a way of life today? In a world full of unexpected twists and turns, our emotions often churn the waters of life. In fact, we don't become sad because bad things happen to us, but because unexpected bad things befall us. Take rain as an example. It is, in its essence, beneficial, providing water to nature and regulating the climate. However, when we are caught in a torrential downpour without an umbrella, we rarely face the situation with optimism. This is because we have learned to accept the inevitability of rain, something over which we have no control. Stoicism teaches us to apply the same mindset to life, preparing us to accept that many bad things, beyond our control, will inevitably occur. One of the Stoic exercises is voluntary discomfort, which aims to increase gratitude. This involves facing uncomfortable situations, such as sleeping on the kitchen floor, taking cold showers when we're accustomed to hot water, or limiting our diet to only potatoes. These challenges teach us that regardless of the difficulties, we will survive, and with the right mindset, thrive. In the modern world, we are constantly bombarded with advertisements that make us believe that happiness can only be achieved with the latest version of a product, looking a certain way, or having a specific amount of money. However, Stoicism reminds us that placing our happiness in external things makes us vulnerable, as these things can fail. Cars break down, natural disasters happen, and divorce rates continue to rise. The free things in life also come at a cost, whether in the physical or mental space they occupy. Seneca wrote that learning to live with less creates room for what truly matters. Therefore, we should center our happiness on our intrinsic value as human beings, rather than basing it on material possessions. We should strive to maintain serenity, regardless of what life presents to us, as we have no control over most situations. It's the dichotomy of control, the most vital principle of Stoic philosophy. We gauge our success not by the outcome, but by the amount of effort we invest. We trust the process and accept that at times the results may be delayed. Let's imagine an employee who has worked diligently in their job for the past 6 months and is expecting a promotion. However, their boss expresses gratitude for their performance, but does not grant the promotion. The employee returns home disheartened, believing they are a failure. They do not consider that their boss might be going through a tough time, that another candidate may be more qualified at that moment, or that the company is facing financial difficulties. If he had centered his value on the quality of his work and continued to strive, even in the face of adversity, he could have maintained a more positive perspective. These are the 4 primary virtues of Stoicism: wisdom, courage, moderation, and justice. Wisdom involves discerning what is within our control and what is external, and choosing our reactions to what happens. Courage means persisting and enduring, no matter the challenges. Moderation reminds us to do more with fewer words and focus on what is essential. Justice is the most important of all, as it forbids doing harm to others, recognizing that we are interconnected and should act for the common good. Stoicism has played an essential role in modern psychology, contributing to therapies like rational emotive behavior therapy and logotherapy. The first helps patients identify and challenge negative thoughts that cause emotional and behavioral problems, replacing them with more constructive beliefs. Logotherapy, on the other hand, is based on the Stoic principle that humans are motivated by purpose, helping individuals find meaning in even the darkest of situations. Changing the way we approach life and our pursuit of happiness is not something simple, but a continuous process. By redirecting our definition of value to aspects we control, we can avoid the trap of pinning our hopes on external circumstances. We should focus on improving ourselves for our own sake, rather than seeking satisfaction in material achievements. Ultimately, Stoicism teaches us to maintain serenity in the storms of life and navigate calmer waters, confident that we are living well regardless of circumstances. Remember that everything has an end. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to leave a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the Surreal Stoic channel to not miss any of our upcoming videos. Share your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. We love to hear your feedback. And to continue your surreal and stoic journey, check out our previous videos and stay inspired to create a life richer in meaning and balance. Until the next journey through surreal stoicism, take care, my friends.